All right, let's talk about the night before when we got to sit down with some of the star players for the Houston Texans. Shador Sanders in 4 games has thrown for 2,020 yards. He's also thrown 14 touchdowns versus 8 picks at 69%, averaging 505 yards a game. 120.8 QBR right now, 13 yards to play. He's been sacked 14 times though. 8 of those 14 sacks came from one team. Shador, we want to know, how has it been your transition from college to the NFL? And speaking with him, he said he's been surprised. A lot of things that he's trained and built up for don't train you for the type of players you actually playing. When you play high school and college football, not everybody are experts at their job, if that makes sense. Everybody, has different paths, different skill sets and all that. But in the NFL, this is everybody's job. And I'm start finding out that, guys are really good at what they do. And you got to be that much better. It's more than just being talented because everybody's talented. You got to really, really hone your craft and get into the ins and outs on the position. And you don't have to just know yours. You have to know your opponent's position, everybody on your team's position. Quarterback goes to another level at this level. The great thing is that I've been prepared for this and prepared for it all my life. Being my dad is Deion Sanders. I've been around guys like Tom Brady helping my development, Jeff Blake helping my development. We've been around so many good, great guys that give me so much knowledge to this game, but it still doesn't prepare you for hopping on that field and going up against guys that have the same will and same drive as you. The difference to me in the NFL is these guys are playing for their career. They're playing for their job, for their family. In college, you had guys that played, loved the game, but knew their career would be something else. This is our career now. This is our job. So I'm starting to see that, guys take it as just as serious as I've taken it all my life. All right, so you starting off with a stellar season right now. If there's anything you can pull from your first 4 games, what would that be? Just understanding who I'm going up against. My in game one, we went up against a very seasoned veteran safety, and Kevin Byard, and he made me pay twice. I thought I could fit passes in the ball in windows where usually I'll get away with it in college, and in the NFL he made me pay for them. Also understanding the offensive line assignments and getting them into good positions to be able to make the offense run smooth. A lot of guys want to talk about the 8 sacks we give to Chase Young, but I would say 5 of those 8 sacks were my fault. Not getting the right checks in, not putting us in the right position to be able to block that guy or block it up. Although we're dealing with a great football player, it's things that we could have did better, especially me as a quarterback. I could have did better to put us in a better situation. Do you have any personal goals this season, Mr. Shador? Yes, win, win, and win. Anything else that comes with the winning is a plus, but my job is here to win and to bring us back to relevancy. I want to put us on the map. I want Houston Texans to be talked about as a force to be reckoned with in the NFL. So it's my job to do all the right things and things to do to put us in situations to be able to do exactly that, and that's win. And there's Shador. This is Skadimes. Shador sounds just like his father, man. They don't know anything but to win, and that's the Sanders family. All right, our next guy we spoke with was the running back, Anthony Israel. And listen, your career path to the NFL has been an exciting one. We call it a 30 for 30, something that we can really enjoy coming back on and allowing you to look on your past on where you came from. Had a position change at junior college where you turned into an all-American cornerback. Go to the University of Maryland, and they move you right back to the offensive side of the ball. Um, how did you feel about that switch in the first place? I think when I got to junior college, my body wasn't. I just wasn't developed yet, right? I had the skill set to play, and I felt like I was one of the best players in high school amongst my position groups, whether it was offense or defense. But size matters. And I got to college, and what I saw guys at my position, 6 foot, 6'2", 6'1", 225 pounds, and here I am, at freshman at 160 pounds, trying to play a position that carries a big burden with it, the running back position, right? Uh, and I just thought, honestly, I made the move to be on the field. I felt like was one of the better running backs in junior college on that team, but I just felt like I would have been on the field, from down one to down three uh, at cornerback. So I thought I made the right decision by uh, going on defense and knowing that I could be a full time starter there versus split carries. I mean, you're not going to give a 160-pound running back 300 carries in a season, right? So I just felt like I wouldn't really get the ball as much as a starting running back would have. Even if I was the starting running back, I just think they would have tried to protect me from being as small as I was, taking hits the way a full time running back will have to take hits, especially still at the college level, junior college especially. Um, and it seemed like it worked out. It seemed like I started to get the same colleges that was interested in me out of high school back interested in me. Uh, in fact, I only had three teams looking at me on the offensive side of the ball, and Maryland being one of them. Um, but I never anticipated in one season after my freshman year the development of what a college program can do for you. When I got to the University of Maryland, I put on 30 pounds, got stronger and faster, and I felt like I was ready to play the running back position. And the rest was history. Your two seasons at Maryland, in your sophomore campaign, which was your first season at Maryland, you rushed for 2,000 yards, caught the ball 60 times out of the backfield for another 840 yards with 10 touchdowns as a receiver and 22 touchdowns as a running back. Do you feel like they were Heisman campaign numbers? I felt like I did whatever they needed me to do. As far as Heisman, that's up for other people to vote on. But then coming into my second year, which was my junior year, and being on a Heisman watch, I did think that I had an opportunity, especially rushing for 2,500 yards, 33 rushing touchdowns, and 65 catches. Um, I'm big on stats. I've been jotting my stats down since youth football. Like I was big on stats because my favorite player coming up was Emmitt Smith, and I always knew all his stats, so I would try to match what he was doing throughout his career. I wanted to be able to do those same things, so I was always big on my numbers on things that I've done. But one of the things that I was really chasing that last year in college at the University of Maryland was making it to the playoffs. I thought we put a pretty good team together. Coaches did a good job surrounding the talent around that football team. Um, and we were one game away from winning the Big Ten versus Ohio State, and everybody know what happened in that game. In that game, you took an ankle injury in that game. You only played in the first quarter. Do you feel like if you'd have played all four quarters or you was available for your team, you guys wouldn't have lost a 10-point game? I mean, I will hope that I would say yes, right? Like, I mean, the athlete in me, the competitor in me would say yes, we win the ball game if I'm on the field. But I definitely have faith in who was on the field. My backup, the guy that took over after me, and the players, I thought we could still get it done. Things just didn't go our way at that time, so I'm not going to sit here and say if I played, we win the ball game. What I will say is that things happen for a reason, and it wasn't our time. You came in to the Texans and you was drafted last year, third round pick. Um, do you feel like the running back position is coming back now? Well, considering that we only seen in the last two drafts since I've been drafted, there's only been two running backs that get left, three running backs that got taken in the first round. So, I thought I was at least a second round or a late first round pick. Um, Things didn't go that way. I don't know if they was concerned about the leg injury or not, but um, I feel like I could have been drafted higher, but I'm grateful that I was drafted. I mean, where I was drafted, and I'm grateful things went the way it went, or I wouldn't have got to play for one of my idols growing up, which is Coach Primetime, right? So I'm comfortable where we are. Last year, you really didn't get the ball as much as a starting running back would get the ball. Do you think they was protecting you, or no? I don't think it's not had to do with enough protection. I think I'm a grown man, right? I'm in the NFL. They're paying me to do a job, and I only could do what they wanted me to do, right? So you had 167 carries. You did average 4 yards a pop. You only had 5 rushing touchdowns. I'll say only because last year a lot of running backs touched the 10 touchdown mark or more. But you carried the ball less than 90% of the NFL starting running backs, right? 167 carries is not full-time starter carries. So again, the reason why we asked you that question is because you just wasn't super productive, not super productive, but super used at the running back position. We were transitioning from offensive coordinators as well. And I did have a guy in front of me coming in as a rookie. You got to learn the game, man. The NFL is a lot harder than any other level of football I've played, and it's because again everybody is talented. Everybody's just as talented as you are, in the league, and they all fighting for their careers. They're fighting for their family. But I just did what they asked me to do. We also saw that you 26 catches for 213 yards. You averaged 8.2 yards out of the backfield. You did score a touchdown there. Do you feel like in Sean Lewis's offense, you're an asset as a receiver just as well as a runner? Yeah, I think now we're getting into the groove. I understand the playbook, understand what we want to do, the assignments, block, and it's just being a complete back, right? You got to better block. You got to better play in the passing game, whether you're blocking for the pass or you're going out for a pass. And then you got to do your job in the run game. I'm a lot more comfortable being a year in the system. I understand what they're asking of me, and I just feel like the sky's the limit now. And there you have it. Anthony Israel, the running back right now of the Houston Texans, is having a really good season thus far right now. 6 catches out the backfield, and as a runner right now, he did 9 touchdowns on 376 yards. His average from 4 yards a carry last year went up to 6.3. He's having a good year. There you have it. Skabimes, skadibbles, skababbles, skabibbles, skadimes. Got to talk to the Houston Texans, the 4-0 Houston Texans, the man in their backfield, AI, and Shador Grown Sanders are in their backfield. They have a good challenge today coming up. That was last night's conversation. The game's about to start in 30 minutes. And our last conversation will be with offensive coordinator Sean Lewis. And before the game, we got to stop and holler at him. And Susie Skaskabel got to talk to him coming out of the tunnel.